and every year. Later this month, you'll see on the table the blue flyer there. We have our upcoming Next Generation Leaders program mixer. It's going to be taking place at the Doubletree by Hilton in Andover, so registration is now open for that program. It's a great way to make connections, great way to meet new people, and that's all taking place, I believe it's August 20th at the Doubletree from 5 to 7 p.m., so don't miss that program. Some other quick announcements. This Friday, we have a networking breakfast. It's going to be taking place at the Greater Lawrence Family Health Center in Lawrence. You don't want to miss that program as well. We have some great programs coming up later this month. We have a big backpack ride, which is taking place in Lawrence. It's 3 to 10. It's asking to bring some school supplies, some backpacks, whatever it might be. It's our way of giving back to the community. And then later in September, as I mentioned, some big programs coming up. We have our annual Fall Back to Business Expo Health and Wellness Fair taking place September 15th. That's also at the Doubletree by Hilton in Andover. And it will be a great way to promote your products, your services, or a breakfast speaker, a lunch speaker. There is an early bird rate still going on until the end of next week. It expires. Save $100 on your booth. You don't want to miss out on this. And, you know, September 15th at the Doubletree. And again, great way to promote your products and services, and free to walk around as well. September 28th, we have our annual Taste of the Merrimack, one of my favorite events of the year, the Taste of the Merrimack Valley. If you're a restaurant, if you're a food vendor, if you know somebody's a restaurant or food vendor, it is completely free to set up. We take care of all the costs for you. If you're not a restaurant or food vendor, you want to come, make sure to get tickets for that. Tickets will be going on sale in the next few weeks, so keep your eye out for that program. But that's all taking place September 28th. And it's going to be a great event, one of my favorite events each year. And then one last event I'm going to mention right now, I believe it's October 28th. You'll see the yellow flyer on some of the tables there. It's our annual dinner. We're just brand new announcing that program today. And the speaker is Brett Watkins, who's the head of all of Amazon in North Andover, the whole North Andover Amazon facility. Brett manages that entire facility. He'll be the speaker of that program. I think you all know what Amazon is, so we're looking forward to having him as the keynote speaker. We'll be announcing our award recipient shortly. So with that being said, I believe lunch should be ready in the next minute or so. I'll call everyone up, and then we're going to sign up programs. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors, and we'll be signing soon. Thank you. We're going to be signing our speaking program now. I'm going to introduce our keynote speaker today, Ben Consoli. Ben is the visionary behind BC Media, who lives by the mantra, there's no better way to inform an audience than with video. As creative director, Ben has orchestrated award-winning projects for heavyweights like Amazon, Nestle, and Honda. His adventures have taken him across the globe, building and dealing with diverse folks, fueling his curiosity and creativity. Whether it's a kernel of an idea or a grand concept, Ben turns it into a feast for their eyes and ears. With the knack for making each client feel like a superstar, he's the genius behind a simple ad for nuance and other collaborations with big names like Reebok, Panera, and Indeed. Ben pushes the boundaries, crafting videos that tug at heartstrings, challenge norms, and engage audience in most compelling ways, and we're honored to have him as our keynote speaker today, so welcome Ben Consoli.
Hearing your bio is just the most, you're like, ooh, I guess I really appreciate being here. Thank you so much. My name is Ben Consoli. I'm founder and executive producer of BC Media Productions. We're located right in Haverhill. And when Mike asked me to speak at this event today, two thoughts immediately came to my mind. The first being, I'm too old for it. I have aged out of the next generation leaders. That's the first one. And the second one was, am I even ready to talk about leadership? Because I've been asked to speak about production. I've never been asked to speak about leadership. What am I going to say? Am I ready to even speak on this? So I started going back through my career and realized that every single major milestone in my career has the same question. Can I do it? Am I ready? It was a constant theme throughout my entire life. I started in 2008 with BC Media Productions, but I was 28 years old. So up until that point, I was laser focused on a completely different career. Every bone in my body, every cell in my skin was telling me that I was going to be a worldwide, global rock star. It was going to happen. It didn't happen. So I had to pivot. And pivoting when you're 28 into something new is a little bit scary. You know, all your peers have already started their careers and you have not. It's a difficult time, getting close to 30, you're worried, what am I going to do? Who am I going to be? And would the skills that I learned from trying to build a band apply to trying to build a production company? Am I ready? So obviously I was doing production all the way up to that. I mean, as a kid, making home videos, and I was on sets doing some assistant working. I went to Emerson College, learned some production there too. So I wasn't going in cold, but it was by no means my focus until it had to be when I started making money. The early years were scrappy. I'm sure some of you guys out here understand what this is all about. I was doing everything. Getting the clients, filming, editing, every single aspect of the production I was doing on my own. And for a couple of reasons. One, found out I was a massive control freak. And two, we just didn't have the budgets to hire anyone. And this was the first time I was making any money, so why would I give it to anyone else? If I could do these things, I'm gonna do it myself. I don't know if this is gonna work out. I need the cash. But you find out pretty quickly that you hit a ceiling and you just cannot grow anymore when you're doing everything yourself. And sure, I've seen nodding heads, like, I know I'm not the only one that tried to do everything and started to realize I need help. And one of the very first lessons that I learned in my career was that not only do you just need to have some support around you, at the time I thought leadership was knowing everything and bringing people on and teaching them the way that I do it. That's not leadership. For me, leadership was bringing people on that knew so much more than I did and learning from them. Otherwise, I'm not learning. So what's the point? I learned that lesson the hard way. It still worked out, but the hard way. On my very first national commercial campaign for Dragon Naturally Speaking, I was working with an ad agency that I did some work with them and got Dragon Naturally Speaking as their brand new client. They were excited, I was excited, and I begged and pleaded, please let me work on this account. I know I can do it. And then when given the opportunity to produce and direct it, that pit in my stomach. Am I ready for this? I don't think so. As much as I felt prepared, when that opportunity actually came, I realized, oh man, I don't know if I'm ready for this one. But that leadership skill came into play, and I realized I needed to hire people that knew how to do this so much better than I did. I needed to have a really good support system if this was going to be successful. And yes, you're not making as much money as you would if you did everything, but you're investing in your company and you're investing in yourself. And it's 100% worth it, because not only was that a successful ad for the company, they loved it so much that they bought airtime at the Super Bowl that year, which was completely unexpected. This went from a social campaign to a Super Bowl ad overnight, and all of a sudden, BC Media can say, and not exaggerate, that we had done a Super Bowl ad. And that really was our first. That really was a big milestone. The next big milestone for me was COVID. Production had shut down along with everything else. Can't go anywhere, can't do anything, and doing any production was illegal in the state of Massachusetts unless you were news, and we were not news. So, here I am again. Am I ready to pivot the company and figure out how to do remote production? I never did it before. But I can tell you by April, only a month later after the shutdown, we were the first company in New England to be able to promote and successfully accomplish remote production at scale. We had a fleet of cell phones, we created our camera kits, we shipped them all over the country for people that needed production done. And that led us to not only just national relationships, but global relationships that led to our very first documentary campaign, which was for Google. That was wild. Another situation where that pit in your stomach hits, you realize, I don't know if I can do this. It was still during COVID, and their whole team was in the UK. And and they needed a production partner in the US that can not only produce it, but allow the director and the creatives to tap into the video feed, and at the time this was new, and be able to conduct interviews remotely. Of course we said yes, but really, we were panicking because we weren't really ready at the time to do something like this, or at least we thought. And here's another problem, and where the next big lesson for me came, I was already booked for another project, so I couldn't personally be there. And as we know, I have a bit of a control issue. So for me, not being able to be part of this project was killing me. Now we had a junior producer that we had hired just a year or so before. He was great, but junior. He was the only person that I knew and trusted to represent BC Media Productions. And so I looked at him and I was like, I can't do this job. You're going to do this job. And he's saying, am I ready to do this? I said, of course you are. I didn't know for sure. But what I learned was that the big leadership lesson here was, at that time in my career, I had developed the skill to know talent when I see it, even if it hasn't been realized yet, which is a huge advantage in your hiring. I trusted him, I knew he had the talent, I knew he had the chops, even though he never had done it before, and though he asked me, is he ready? I knew he was, and he was. That documentary led to an even bigger project for Netflix, who caught wind of our Google documentary and asked us to produce a few episodes of their Netflix series with Shaquille O'Neal. They were shooting in Boston, they needed a couple episodes done locally. Here it is again. The self-doubt, am I ready for this? Sure, we've done documentaries before, but not at this scale, not with this exposure. This was a whole different world. And though we said yes, came down to the same rules. Hire the right people, give them the runway to do what they need to do. That's leadership. This carries on even today. I mean, I'm almost at 20 years with BC Media Productions. And the biggest project we ever had was for Fidelity. It was a year ago, basically in the fall last year. And it was a, not just national campaign, but it was a global ad campaign for broadcast that was being played during the Olympics. They asked, we did with the director, we pitched, they accepted us, we got the opportunity, and here we go again. Can we do this? Even after almost 20 years of doing it, that self-doubt is still there. What made it even harder, our director wanted this to be done practically, which means no visual effects, no AI, and the concept was not simple. It followed a woman who was inspired to become a rock climber, and she goes to the climbing gym, learns how to climb, and then eventually at the end of the commercial, summits a big giant mountain. And he said, we want to do this for real, on a real mountain, with real climbers, in Colorado. Figure it out. Which, if anyone's worked with directors before, that's what they love to do. So here are the complications. Not only am I working in a state I'm not familiar with, I'm working with an entire crew I'm not familiar with, plus the security logistics of having a crew dangling from the top of a mountain, putting the camera down the side of it, filming the climber coming up. What are we doing here? It was horrifying. And I asked myself once again, are we ready for this? The leadership lesson there is that it's not about having all the answers, that's for sure. It's not about knowing everything. It's about having an eye for talent and bringing the best people on for that job. That's the investment you make in yourself and your company. So, throughout my entire career, even though the opportunities got bigger and bigger, that feeling never disappeared. But what changed was my understanding of what leadership is. So, when you're faced with that question of, am I ready? Are you ready? You have to realize that you never feel ready to be a leader. You become a leader because you choose to lead. and you make sure that the job gets done. So everything that you've done that led you to that opportunity, that made you ask, am I ready? Everything that led you to that opportunity are all the tools you need to achieve it. Thank you guys so much. I believe you.
Time for questions and answers from all if you like. If anyone has a question for Ben.
Does anybody do any production? Or am I the only one in the room that doesn't have production? You do?
Well, we're filming for Hellcat right here.
Say it again.
We're filming for Hellcat, Lawrence Public TV.
There you go. So, good. Some fellow production folks. It's rough out there. Any questions?
We're over here.
Yes. Oh, here you are.
What's coming up for our next?
Next project we have is actually a photo project for Sherwin-Williams, which is cool. All of our locations are going to be in Haverhill, so it's like, great. I love bringing production up to Haverhill because it's 2 seconds from my house, most importantly. And also, it's like, there's a lot to offer here. We had a movie shoot here for a moment, but I really want to bring production up here. That's a whole separate conversation, but I think Haverhill has a lot of qualities that would make for really good film locations. But Sherwin-Williams is next, and we just did a string of AI projects. It is, we're learning. It was another are we ready type thing. Learned a lot about it. I think there were some successes there. I'll report back later. We're not ready to plaster it all over our site as a capability, but we're learning. And we just finished a pharmaceutical commercial about a week ago, so. Summer's been good. But I'm going away in September, so please, I need that break. Any other questions? Yeah.
Yes, you will be doing any mentoring or within the school system to have more engagement in that process?
I've never done it, but I also never did this. And I just did it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm open to all opportunities. Well, it could be fun.
So I would be able to say anything on the township or informed or not as possible, but sometimes it comes with people that want to try it, and we also how do you manage all that? We have that. It's great to have a strong team, very capable team, but how do you manage that dynamic and still keep the ship going and the community going?
Creative people are crazy. Talk about pride and ego. Oh my God. Yeah, you gotta be really sensitive when people are putting their heart and soul into something artistic. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to look someone in the face and tell them that you don't like something that they're doing if it's artistic. But I think it doesn't happen very often, which is good. If you do a good job of hiring people, you don't have to tell them that you don't like what they're doing. You should be saying, I love what you're doing. You should only be really guiding them maybe the way that they do it. So you're not insulting or criticizing the art, but you're criticizing the way that they do it. It's a little bit easier to talk to someone about that. But I would say just try to identify what is the thing that this person's going to be sensitive about, and do that. I'm just kidding. What is this person going to be sensitive about, and just try to be as soft as you can around that, because egos are real and they're fragile, and identify with it. Nobody likes to be told what they're doing is not good. So think about how you would want to tell yourself, and then try to apply that to the other person. I hope that helps. Yes?
At this point, you've been doing this for 20 years. What's like your dream job now versus back then?
I think I would like to find a way to get into feature films. I've never done it. It always seemed like a giant burden because of how long of a process it is. But I've structured the company now in a way where I can go out and be more of an executive producer, meaning I can do things like this and speaking engagements and have more time developing client relationships. So I think with that newfound time, I might be ready for feature. Trying. We'll see. That's the next thing, I think. Yes?
How do you transition that mindset to your team?
Say it one more time.
How do you transition the mindset you can do something to your team?
My team is very much used to it, especially at the beginning of the year, being like, okay guys, 2026 is gonna be this and that, and so they know that I come at them with a whole bunch of craziness at the beginning of the year. I think I try to find people that are willing to go along for the ride, but that also will ground me too, because sometimes my ideas are not good and too big and need some structure, and I try to bring people around me that are comfortable saying, that stinks, or that's not possible, or good, but let's focus on something else first. I really like to have those people in my circle. But in return, they also will at least give my ideas a chance, and there's definitely been times where we're nearing the end of the year and I hear, I can't believe how many items on our to-do list and wish list we got done this year. Because they kind of, despite maybe their initial reactions, pursued some of the things I was pushing for. Yeah?
So I know you mentioned you're still trying to figure out how to use AI.
Yeah.
What is your approach with that, especially in such a creative field? Because there's such a delicate balance, it's hard to overuse it, but also
We're in an interesting time with AI production right now, where the tools are available, but it's hard to do. So, and I've been through this before, because in 2008 when I started, the thing that was going to ruin production was a specific camera called a Canon 5D. If anybody knows that from a while ago. That was the tool because everybody could buy it, it was cheap, and that was going to be the end of production. And then cell phone filming was going to be the end of production. So I've seen this before, and I lived through this before. What normally happens, and what seems to be happening now, is the tool is available, people try it, they realize it's really tough, and then artistry forms from that void. Because people start realizing, I can use the tool, I'm going to become an expert in this tool. So I think that's where we're in that period now. This one is different because when done right, you do take away the jobs of camera operators, actors, all that stuff. But when I get asked to speak about this, I always remind people that no one is afraid when someone does an animation project because it's a separate thing. And no one is afraid when somebody uses stock footage because it's a separate thing. We shouldn't be afraid with AI being a separate thing. It's a new technology that is separate and will have its place. It's just a mess right now. So it's scary. Yeah?
when you first started, how did you find yourself in front of people, getting close contacts with Google and Netflix, and how did you find yourself in those rooms?
Well, I learned a lot through my music days about how to talk to people and go into a room of strangers and make some friends. So those were some of the skills that I learned throughout that process. And it was things like chamber events, going to networking events, staying in touch with people. It's amazing how much more, the initial connection is important, but the person you meet may not be the one that gets you a job, but if you keep in touch with them and have really good follow-up, that person is going to lead to someone that will eventually get you a job. So I can't stress the importance. Get a hot spot. Stay on track with who you've talked with, when you talked with them. Reach out to them again, but don't be annoying. Those are the things that keep you fresh in their mind. So I hope that answers your question, but it's just sheer will and kind of being a little bit annoying, but trying not to.
Anyone else with a question? Oh, I think Ben again.
Great job, Ben. As I told you, this wasn't going to be too hard for your first time. It's a lot easier climbing a mountain. So we appreciate being part of this today. We appreciate that. Before we start our award program, I want to recognize State Rep Ryan Hamilton in the room today. And I also want to thank one of our board of directors, Alex Garcia, for being here as well. So we're going to start our award presentation. We have 5 awards to present. I'm going to call them up. I'm going to read their bios. say a few words if you'd like, accept your award, and we'll move on to some programs. So thank you all, and congratulations to all of our award recipients. Our first award recipient unfortunately cannot be here today. Tobin's going to be accepting on his behalf, but it's Rob Aquino. He's the CEO and partner of JBS and the author of The Small Business Money Game. He helps entrepreneurs move from reacting to their numbers to leading with them by building the financial infrastructure needed to scale with confidence. After beginning his career in wealth management, Rob shifted his focus to advising small business owners where he observed a consistent pattern. Businesses rarely stall because of lack of ambition. They stall when leadership and financial systems fail to evolve together. In the Small Business Money Game, he shares the practical frameworks of predictable growth breakpoints that help founders stop planning to survive and start planning to scale. Having advised more than 3,500 founders, Rob brings a practical perspective that combines financial strategy with leadership and operational decision making. He believes finance should be more than reporting or compliance. It should be the clarity and confidence founders need to make better decisions before complexity compounds. Outside of work, Rob enjoys spending time with his family, cooking, traveling, and reading and writing about economics, psychology, and leadership. And I would like to again announce Tobin is going to be accepting the award on Rob's behalf.
You got to smile.
Perfect, man. Would you say your words now?
Sure. Since I'm speaking on his behalf, I know some stuff. I usually freestyle, but he probably be upset about it.
You won't tell us.
No one tell him, please. Awesome. So my name is Toby Garcia. I'm a partner at JBS Corporate. I'm a tax manager there. I've been in the business about 12 years, and I've known Rob my whole life. He's my cousin. Very proud of him. Very proud of the work he's done. He sets very possible goals for himself and for the business, and we've been able to succeed because of it. Right? A business like them, right? Stepping into these positions and these moments and being in front of folks that you look at yourself and you say, we're just a bunch of kids from the Bronx. We're not supposed to be in these rooms speaking to these people, right? So, on behalf of Rob and the entire JBS team, I want to thank the Merrimack Valley Chamber, everyone involved with the annual Next Generation Leaders Conference, just for recognizing him as an emerging leader. I'm not at his age, I'm a little tiny bit older, so it's an honor to accept it on his behalf. In his book, The Small Business Money Game, as you referred to, he begins with this idea that if some companies are too big to fail, then by nature there should be some businesses that are too small to succeed, right? And we see it all the time with the businesses that we deal with. They just don't have the tools to be able to succeed in the way that the United States and the world really, it treats their small businesses, right? We're really good at big business. We forget about small business, and we think that that's the fabric of America and other countries, and we should continue to focus on that. And when we say that small businesses are designed to fail, it's not a criticism of the person or the founder. It's really a default structure that's set up, that's, it's stacked against us. I started 12 years ago, like I mentioned. I worked at the office 9 to 5. I would work at the family business, like we were speaking earlier, from 5:30 to close, usually 11 or midnight, right? Why? I needed to pay bills. My wife was getting her grad degree in University of Maryland, and I was paying for her rent out there, and I was paying for my rent out here. So I was learning the ropes in both family businesses, the accounting firm, and they call it lovingly out here the crack chicken business, right? It's very good food if you haven't had it before. And I picked up a lot of skill sets, and I quickly learned that I did not want to smell like chicken all the time, like my aunts and uncles, and that I wanted to continue to learn the ropes of the tax and accounting firm, right? So, in leadership, you have to step into roles and responsibilities that you don't like, that you don't think you're ready for. And if you do it the right way, those skill sets will come with you and take you to places that you never dreamed of. At the moment, we are pivoting once again in our business because if you don't grow, you die, right? And we've done it all. We've had 6 partners, we're down to 3. We're looking for more, and we're not afraid to step into the unknown. And that's what you have to do as a leader, as a small business owner, as someone that wants to succeed and grow. You have to continue to go into the unknown and do it with no fear. When you have that feeling in the pit of your stomach, that means you're in the right place. So you have to continue to embrace that and not be afraid of fear, right? Continue to kind of go into that unknown. So I'm very proud of Rob, very proud of what he's done, and I'm happy to see you all here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've done plenty of events at JBS Corp. If you're not familiar with the chicken saga, it's Jacqueline's Chicken, which is in Lawrence. They have it every time. I eat pretty much the whole bucket, so make sure to check it out next time you event at JBS, and we appreciate your partnership as well. Our next award recipient, Philip DeCologero, is a Merrimack College graduate, just like myself, and resident of North Andover, where he's an active member of the community. He co-founded the North Andover Merchants Association, started the North Andover Farmers Market, and formally chaired the licensing board and board of selectmen. He is a former Affiliate Chiefs of Staff, led the 8th Chamber of Commerce through COVID, and ran external affairs for State Auditor Diane Zoglu before joining the Northern Essex Community College team. In May 2025, most important, he joined Northern Essex in May 2025. Most important, he's the proud father of 3 beautiful daughters. So I'd like to welcome up Philip DeCologero.
Give you the right shot. I learned that from Ben, so. All right, smile. One more. All right.
Oh my God, we're also challenged. You watch my last name, Jesus. Who here is here for the first time at Merrimack Valley Chamber event? That's awesome. So one of the best things about this group is that it connects nonprofit and business people from across the Merrimack Valley so that you can do bigger and better things for your business or organization. What I really love that they do though is they connect all of you with entities like Northern Essex. And we offer resources for you personally, professionally, for your business, for your workforce. I still am learning about tools, and we have our executive vice president and member of the board of directors as well. I'm very active with this chamber, Mike McCarthy here. The team at Northern Essex is your resource, and so if there are things that you're thinking about, you know, personally, professionally, free community college without anybody of any age to come to Northern Essex and actually make those dreams come true. And so I appreciate the opportunities they give me, that they give the Merrimack Valley, so we have a thriving business community and nonprofit community. I just appreciate that they actually give the time to the Merrimack Valley Chamber and Michael, because without an ecosystem like this, we would not be at the forefront of Massachusetts economy. So thank you.
The last name. He stole my thunder. I want to welcome our other board member in attendance today, Mike McCarthy, Northern Essex. With that being said, we're going to move on to our next award recipient. Our next award recipient is Nick Distelbrink. Nick has been a North Andover resident going back to 2009, where he and his wife have raised 2 children who are now teenagers. He ran large-scale health clubs for 15 years, overseeing upwards of $20 million in annual revenue and a team of 400 employees. He also pursued higher education, earning 2 master's degrees from Bentley University during that time. In 2020, inspired by local business owners and self-employed business men and women, Nick decided to take a risk and become self-employed as well, helping local employers making supplemental benefits available to their employees at no cost to the employer. Nick joined the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce in 2021 and has effectively leveraged it to build this business, seamlessly integrating community engagement with business development. He regularly attends our events and is always making introductions, practicing reciprocity with fellow chamber members, and sharing inspiration and motivation with one another. Perhaps most important of all, he's someone who I can always count on to discuss all things Disney World and professional wrestling. So, with that being said, most important, I want to call up Nick Distelbrink.
Why do you keep it over the way? So it doesn't get blocked. Everyone look at my photography. You're going that side. careful that you talk to me. Hold on a second. All right.
Cut a chamber promo?
Yes.
All right, so I figured I'd take a little bit of a different direction of this, just kind of talk about my experience with the chamber. It's actually, I think it's exactly the 5-year anniversary, almost to the day that I joined. I am now in sales, and I know obviously you probably have some business development people here, business owners in here. So even if you're not sales, the main focus of your job is probably some priority in your role every single day as you're trying to develop your business. And I know that nobody here, I already know, without having met some of you here, that nobody likes cold calling. And so I just want to give this example. In August of 21, I was cold calling, and I had knocked on like 30 doors. And this was the time when everybody was kind of coming out of hibernation with COVID a little bit. And I had knocked on like 30 doors and had not set one appointment, got absolutely nothing. I just sat in the corporate office parking lot in Andover, just thinking to myself, like, what am I doing? I just gave up this. I had this huge career in running health club. I did a total 180 of working for myself now. I'm just not making any money. So I just sat there for like an hour, and then I thought, I'm just going to Google North Andover Chamber. And Merrimack Valley Chamber came up. I called me right back. He said, hey, you want to grab lunch tomorrow at Battlegrounds Coffee in Haverhill? We'll talk. So we talked, and he said, hey, you got a networking event coming up tomorrow night. Do you want to attend it? If you like it, you can join. If not, no big deal. So I said, sure. I attended that event, and in that night, even though the event was only 2 hours, I ended up staying for 3 hours. But I ended up leaving with 8 business cards. And it wasn't that I hadn't gotten business cards before, but I got the business cards like, oh, here, you didn't talk to this. It's not going to go anywhere, right? But I had got 8 business cards that I had a tangible, meaningful conversation with, and 50 minutes at a time, that really could now lead to something. So I said, I'm going to join the chamber. I haven't made one cold call in 5 years. It's all been through networking. And so I just want to talk about the power of the chamber real quick. Obviously, we were talking, you had mentioned earlier about reciprocity, right? If you need to get something, you buy a product or a service, spend it on someone that's in the chamber right now if you can, right? If there's never going to be things that you have to spend outside the chamber, but if you can spend that money in the chamber, it's going to come back to help you. Some examples I just want to give. All these services that I've had exterior work done in my house, my driveway paved, where I get my hair cut, all the restaurants that I go to, and there's just so many more things, services and products I can't think off the top of my head. It's all through the chamber. But they have a chance now to spend that money and invest it back into your service, and we can keep this local economy going. Or, not that I'm hating on Amazon or Walmart or Target, but our entire future is going to be working for those 3 companies if we don't do that, right? So we got to keep each other going. But a few other benefits that you might not think about are like introductions, the strategic partnerships that you get referral business out of, and an engagement in the community, figuring out a way. I know a lot of people here, I know I did, I'm sure we're thinking like, I'd like to give back to the community, but I can't think about how to do it because I just don't have the time. Here in the chamber, you can find a way to give back to the community and seamlessly grow, develop your business at the same time. And the last thing that you might not think of is friendships. If you had told me 5 years ago that in the next 5 years, I'd be meeting someone from the chamber that I went to Disney World with, someone else that I went to professional wrestling events with, someone that I went to a Godsmack concert with, I would have told you that you were crazy. And being in my midlife crisis here, in my mid-40s, I'm going through my Rolodex of friends, and I'm like, why am I still friends with this person? I said, we're totally different people now. And they're just like a strain on my life. And the good thing is I've been able to start all of them and replace them with new friends from the chamber who are like-minded like you, have a lot in common with you, and you're meeting them where they're at now in their life. So I just wanted to give a little promotion for the chamber, but thanks for giving that speech. I appreciate it. I want to say congratulations to all the award recipients here as well. And Joe and Mike, thank you for everything you guys do, giving us a platform to be recognized today. It's always talking to me about professional wrestling, and I need that WrestleMania recap.
One thing I want to say is, I swear to not be able to say all that, sorry. Maybe I can stop, so thank you again, we appreciate that, and since you said so many kind things about us, this event's not about us, it's about all of you. I just want to say that if you come to our network events, Nick's probably one of the people you see all the time, and he's one of the most well-respected people at our events, so I just want to say thank you again for those kind words, and congratulations as well. Our next award recipient is Kerrie Ganley. Kerrie Ganley is the Director of Sales and Marketing at the DoubleTree Andover Hotel, where she led sales, strategy, marketing initiatives, and business development for the past 3 years. A lifelong hospitality professional, Kerrie began her career at 17 years old as a hotel housekeeper. Through hard work, determination, and genuine appreciation for hospitality, the steadily advanced through roles in housekeeping, front desk operations, event management, and sales. After 21 years with her first hotel, she departed as Director of Sales, a testament to her perseverance and dedication to continuous growth. Throughout her career, Kerrie led sales efforts for Hilton Properties in Bedford, Massachusetts, Nashville, New Hampshire, downtown Boston, and now Andover, where she focuses on building strong client relations and driving business growth and supporting the local business community. I'd like to welcome Kerrie Ganley.
Come on, wake up. He moved the sign again. You have the camera? Wait, he's gonna move the camera again. Hold on. Smile. All right. Ready?
Great, thank you. Well, I have two things. One, I'm too old to be here for this. And the other is that I questioned if I was ready my whole entire career, but I wanted to find and lean into the support to help me kind of grow where I am. I've been in the hospitality industry for a long time with Andover, DoubleTree for 3 years now. Where I work alongside and connect with so many great people on a daily basis. That's one of the benefits of hospitality. I think it was either the first or second day that Joe and Mike reached out to set up our first meeting, which was great, and the relationship has been amazing since then. Thank you for all of you do in the chamber to keep the community engaged and connected. It's amazing. And if you haven't been to the DoubleTree anytime soon, we are recently renovated. We have a new general manager. We've got a great new chef, so I encourage you to come by, say hello, grab a warm DoubleTree chocolate chip cookie at the front desk, and check us out. Thank you.
From Chamber of Fun, if you haven't been to the DoubleTree yet, we'll be there September 15th for our expo and September 28th for our Taste of Merrimack Valley and August 20th for our National Release Conference. So,
And I'll be there before them for the cookies.
and Joe will be there for the cookies. So, I'd like to present our last award. Before I do, I just want to mention again, thank you for everyone for being here today. We appreciate it. I want to thank our sponsors, Millennium Cleaning Services and White Bridge Training, again for their sponsorship and support. So, thank you again. Our last award recipient of the day, not the least, is Elizabeth Nolberto. Elizabeth is originally from the Dominican Republic and immigrated to the United States at the age of 12. She has dedicated her entire professional career to healthcare, beginning as a medical assistant and pharmacy technician before becoming a respiratory therapist. Today, Elizabeth is a business owner and co-founder and chief offering officer of Cross Cultural Care Link, where she helps lead the organization's operations, compliance, staffing, growth, and community partnerships. She also holds a master's degree in theology and one in counseling. A woman of faith, Elizabeth brings her faith into leadership and often describes her work as a ministry through which she can serve others with compassion and dedication. She is passionate about culturally responsive healthcare and creating opportunities for professionals from diverse backgrounds. Elizabeth is also a proud mother of 3 amazing daughters and has been married for 20 years to a loving and supportive husband. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Probably moved it again. Last time. That's on an angle. And if you're an award recipient at the end, we're going to take one group photo, so don't run away. Did you get it?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the chamber. I actually have it right here, so I don't want to forget anything. But thank you so much. I think when we began Consoli, we decided on the chamber awards and chamber events, and it has been great to have such good connections. Yes, so I came here when I was 12 from the Dominican Republic, from early days in healthcare. I want to mention some organizations that I think have shaped my leadership. So from Greater Lawrence County Health Center to what used to be called the Catholic Hospital. I also want to mention E4All, and actually one of my mentors, George, coincidentally is here today, so that's amazing. But that actually helped me lead to cross-cultural campaigns. So we are home health VNA, where we send nurses, physical therapists, caregivers to patients' home. Alongside my wonderful partners, Carol and Esther, my sister from another mother, right? I've been blessed with many mentors, colleagues, and leaders that invested in myself, shaped and shared their wisdom with me. And actually, when I got the call, you know that imposter syndrome when it comes in? I'm like, is it for me? And I told him, is it for me or is it for cross-cultural? And he said, no, it's you from cross-cultural. It's Elizabeth from cross-cultural. So that imposter syndrome just came through, right? But then I sat down and I'm like, it has been many years, right, of leadership. So I want to thank God. Yes, this is a ministry for myself and also my husband, who's been so supportive of this year, especially the last almost 4 years, where we've been like a roller coaster in the business, right? It's not even a business, especially home care. It's very hard, but at the same time, very rewarding. So I actually want to dedicate this award to my partners, and also my family, and also our patients. Without them, right, we don't have a business. So, and also any partners out there. So thank you so much, and I'm very, very grateful.
Thank you all for joining us at the Hospital City for group photo. And again, thank you all for being here today. We look forward to seeing a future event. Plenty of opportunities to get out and connect, make new connections, and we look forward to seeing you soon.